Feel free to put your cameras on and feel free to mic up and just check we can hear you.
Hello, Alex. Hi there.
Hi, Joe. Thanks for coming along.
No, no problem. Thanks for having me.
And good morning, David. Welcome.
Morning, Alex.
If there's a few more dropping in, they'll probably come in, but we'll kick off. So today we're looking at crafting a signature offer, standing out and selling more. This is going live to LinkedIn. Let me just double check that, make sure it is actually going out somewhere. Waiting for host. Maybe it's not, maybe it is, who knows? Technology, don't you love it? What I'll do is hit the record button just to be on the safe side. Bear with me. I'd hate to lose this. Oh, it seems we're already recording. Fantastic. Great. Okay, so let's dive in then. We've got quite a lot to cover. Do you want to just go around the room and introduce yourselves? I think, David, you've been along before to one of these sessions.
Yeah, David Hamworth, currently North East London, semi-retired, coaching and mentoring, and I like the gigs that you run. I like your microphone as well.
Brilliant, thank you. Yeah, good audio is key. Joe, welcome, Joe. Do you want a brief introduction? Introduce yourself.
Yeah, so we run a property management company in Bournemouth called Rabbit Brothers,
Okay.
and it's quite a tricky one to sell ourselves because we're property managers, not really salesmen, but we're trying to get to grips with that. But I also own a company called My Fire Door, where we install and repair fire doors and inspect. So we're just trying to get as much knowledge as possible to grow both companies
Brilliant.
and yeah, go from
Yeah,
there. I'm in a working office here, so I might go on mute and things from time to time, so it's not
that's all
sort of
right.
feedback.
Yeah, I understand. No worries if you've got it. Yeah, that's fine. Not a problem. So normally when we do these masterclasses, it's around about 25 minutes of input from me, and then we'll kind of have more of a mastermind at the end, chat around any issues, problems around your offer. Offer is the focus today. And
Okay.
then I'll also introduce a little bit about Leadith and what Leadith's all about. So obviously in today's competitive landscape, having a strong offer is quite crucial. It's not just nice to have, it's essential. And today we're looking at how to create that signature offer, but it's all about defining the unique value that you can bring to your clients and shaping that offer so it not only highlights your expertise, but also clearly addresses the needs and challenges that your prospects or audience potentially have. So you need to be seen as the go-to choice for them. So our goal today is to kind of look at the the tools that can help you to kind of build out this offer and stand out in a real crowded market. I'll explore some of the AI-based tools that I've been using as well that have really helped. But so let's get ready. Let's dive in for our time together. Just a quick introduction. My name's Alex Smith. I'm the founder of Leadith. Over the years, I've had the privilege of working with around 165 clients, I think, on my client database. I'm just going to run a little slide deck to run alongside this presentation as well. There we go, because it can be a little bit boring just looking at me all the time. So a strong background in digital marketing and also lead generation. I've developed quite a clear understanding of kind of what it takes to create offers now, and not only to attract clients, but also to drive real results for them. And my approach combines kind of tried and tested methods and strategies with a personalized touch, and that's quite the key difference here. Making sure that each client, when they come to you, that you can confidently position your unique value in the market. So I'm really passionate about helping other people kind of raise their full potential. And today that's what we're doing right here, sharing some practical insights to help you just achieve that. So hopefully you'll walk away from this session with some real skills and real things that will help you. I always love to start these sessions with a quick moment of reflection. This kind of comes back to my my Christian values. I see that as one of my unique differentiators, having that faith. So this verse for today is from the Bible, and it speaks about having a heart of standing out, really, with purpose. So it comes from a book called Matthew, and it says, "Let your light shine before others, so that they may see the good works and give glory to your Father who is in heaven." And this verse really reminds me that, when we do our work day to day, our offerings, our expertise, and the value that we can bring to other people, it's got a much deeper purpose. My offers aren't just about standing out in the market, but it's about letting my unique gifts shine in the marketplace, and for people to see that this aspect of genuinely serving others makes a real positive impact in the world. So as we go through today's session, let's keep this mindset in our minds and help each other to create these offers that are really going to stand out in your businesses. Okay, so just a little bit of a background. I think David, you might be familiar with this. Joe, this might be a little bit newer to you if you've not been on so many of the masterclasses. But this is the Leadith's roadmap. Our mission is to provide you with the tools and the knowledge that are going to help you to elevate your business. So over the next few weeks, this is actually week 11 we're on today as part of the masterclass series. We look at all these different stages on the roadmap in a bit of detail. So the first one is looking at the target audience, who that audience is, what are their pain points, and then we look at number 2, which is how we can optimize our personal LinkedIn profile. I guess you could also put in there any bit of communication you put out there, like your website or your email signature. Do all these pieces of communication clearly speak to that audience with clarity? That's one of the keys here. Because if there's a bit of a misalignment here, this is going to really affect people understanding what it is you do and how you can help them. So LinkedIn profile pages is kind of the reference. This is a kind of a LinkedIn funnel or strategy. Step 3 is all about how we can automate and leverage LinkedIn to maximum effect. And this is putting in those strategic touch points where you're automating the connection requests, you're automating the follow-up messages. Literally everything is all kind of automated for you. So you can focus on what you do best, and it allows the systems and automations to kind of just work away and fill your pipeline with some really high quality leads. The natural follow-up to a LinkedIn campaign is often email outreach. So we've been starting to kind of get involved with email outreach a lot more these days, warming up multiple inboxes, sending out high volume cold emails to prospects. And then once they've responded to those emails, we're then kind of going back into LinkedIn, back to stage 3 and warming them up. Having a content strategy, stage 5. This is about you being positioned as a brand almost, as a bit of a thought leader. People need to see your thoughts. They need to see what drives you, your vision, your values, you as a person. So when you're putting that sort of content out there on LinkedIn or any other social media platform, this is acting as an inbound strategy, drawing people to you. And then stage 6 is how you go about systemizing all of this. So setting those appointments, having a text message reminder to let people know that a meeting's about to start, all this sort of stuff. And when you start to systemize your business, it really, really does help the growth of the business. Now, I'll come back to this a little bit later. We actually run these masterclasses as part of our Leadith School. Leadith School is quite simply a community. It's a free community to join. We offer ongoing discussion with like-minded business leaders. There's networking opportunities, and by accessing the Leadith School, you can take some free courses in there, and those courses will take you through like stage 1, identifying your target audience, or stage 2, how to kind of build out your LinkedIn profile so it speaks with that clarity to your audience. So we actually teach all that. And then for our paid clients, we have the Leadith University, which is currently migrating to a new platform. So that's quite exciting coming up. So you can find that on by going to Leadith, LEADETH/school, and that will take you to our community where you can sign up. Now, moving back onto today's subject matter, signature offer. So my focus here is predominantly around B2B, business to business. So if you're selling directly to consumers, some of this will still apply, but predominantly I've kind of tailored the training towards a B2B market. So having this unique and compelling offer is really crucial, and we're going to learn about what sets you apart from your competition and how you can really stand out in a crowd of other people. So we're going to focus on three main areas, and that is defining your signature offer, so implementing effective pricing strategies and positioning your offer for a real kind of maximum impact. These elements are quite important for standing out and driving sales. I'll refer quite a bit to this little book here. Well, I say little book, it's an A4 sized book. Alex Hormozi, he's an American kind of entrepreneur. He's basically started off with his own gym franchise, and he worked out a secret formula of how to kind of grow these gyms to incredible success. He's brought out a book called 100 Million Offers. It's not too thick, it's quite thin, and there's big type in it, but it's very easy. But I love some of his thinking around offer creation. So I'm diving into that for a wealth of insights into this process. But one key takeaway that he talks about is what we call the Grand Slam offer. And this is creating an offer that's just so compelling that it transforms your business and sets you on a path to exceptional growth. We'll discuss how to create such an offer, ensuring that it really resonates with your target audience and that you can add value there. And also, I'll mention that kind of by the end of this masterclass, we're actually going to hopefully get you to understand how to create and position your own offer, not so it stands out, but also really compels you and compels your audience to act. We want them to act on that offer. That's one of the key things here to take you to the next level. So that's Alex's book. He brought out a sequel book. The next book he brings out is part 2, and it's called $100 Million Leads, Alex Hormozi. So feel free to get that. I think the third book is coming out soon. Sorry, I'm just chucking it back on my bookcase. Let's start with quite an inspirational quote. I love this guy here, Seth Godin. He's I think he's either Australian or certainly American, could be marketeer. He's written quite a few books around marketing. And this quote from him captures the heart of today's topic quite well. He says, "Don't find customers for your products, but find products for your customers." And that's really important when we're thinking about offer creation. I've got into so many times I've created something thinking, "Wow, this is so good," and it, and there's gonna be a need for this. But quite often, what we forget is, this quote just underscores the vital principle here that when you're crafting these signature offers, the best offers don't start with what we want to sell. They actually start with what our clients truly need and what our clients value. And when we focus on understanding our clients' specific challenges, goals, and desires, this is going to create an offer that is really custom made for them. So let's start to explore what this looks like and go into it with this kind of mindset. So the goal is to really create something that's super tailored, that's going to stand out and be relevant to them. Okay, so defining your signature offer. Let's start here. So what exactly makes a signature offer? So there's some key components that will help you to kind of uniquely address your customers' needs and help you to stand out. And according to kind of Alex Hormozi's book, a signature offer must be both unique and highly valuable to your target audience. So to create this, we need to focus on the what he calls the value equation. And that value equation involves identifying the core customer problems that your customers face, and then think about the solutions that that solve and address these problems. So the simple equation is what we call the value equals the dream outcome, and it's multiplied by what we call the perceived likelihood of achievement. And then there's also a divided by, so the whole thing is divided by time, effort, and sacrifice. So your offer, it's got to maximize the dream outcome of the perceived likelihood of achievement, whilst it's minimizing time delay for the client and also their effort and sacrifice that they've got to put in. And that is what a really good offer would look like. So a great example is his Grand Slam offer, what he calls the Grand Slam offer. And this is creating something that's really compelling that potential customers feel, it'd be silly to turn it down and refuse it. So it combines a real attractive promotion, a really high value proposition, and often you'll get a really, really strong guarantee that will remove any hesitations for them of doing business with you. So your goal is to kind of craft this offer that's really irresistible because it provides so much value that no one else in your industry or no one else in your competitors are doing this. So we need to think about what are the problems that your customers face. One great way of doing that is surveys, questionnaires, things like that. Recently, I did a white paper on trends of my ideal audience. My ideal audience for that study was marketing agencies. So I sent a campaign out to loads of owners of marketing agencies and worked out, what are the key trends that they're seeing and what are the problems. On the interview, I'd ask the marketing owner, what are the biggest pain points? What are the challenges? If we could wave a magic wand and solve this problem for you and the world would be a better place, what would that be? So think about your what are the pain and what are the problems that your audience have currently. When we start to address these problems, we can start to create a real good offer for them that's going to stand out in the marketplace and drive substantial business growth. So let's look at that in a little bit more detail now. Pricing strategies. So pricing strategies often are one of the biggest mistakes that people can make in business, and it's falling into that commodity trap. And this happens when your services are seen as very interchangeable with other people. And that leads to a much more competition, primarily based on price. So according to Hormozi, this is the race to the bottom that you want to avoid at all costs. So to avoid this commodity trap, we need to charge what your offer is truly worth. And that means adopting very much a premium pricing strategy that's going to reflect the unique value that you can provide. It's not about just being expensive, but it's about ensuring that your pricing starts to communicate everything, the high value stuff that your offer is putting forward. So Hormozi suggests pricing your offer based on the value it delivers rather than the cost of the individual components that you're kind of stacking up there. And this approach really allows you to capture more of the value that you can create for your customers. Additionally, understanding the market is quite crucial. As Hormozi pointed out in his book, targeting a starving crowd. I think he talks about a hot dog stand, and where they go, there's just so much demand there. It's very easy to sell where there's high demand, and there's got to be a pressing need for your solution, and that allows you to set much higher prices because obviously the perceived value is much greater. I'm reminded of, when I travel along the motorway and I stop off at fleet services, the cost of fuel is ridiculously higher at these service stations. And it's kind of like you've got nowhere else to go. You could go off the motorway and, go 10 miles up the road and find a smaller one and it's a little bit cheaper. But, they've got you, they've got the traffic flowing directly there. So that's kind of an example that I think about. So that concept and the classic example of selling the hot dogs outside the stadium filled with hungry fans, demand is so high, then price becomes much less of a concern. So in summary, we need to focus on differentiating your offer and pricing it based on the real value that it can deliver. We need to understand your market's needs, and we need to position the pricing to really reflect the unique value and the unique benefits that your product or service will offer. And that strategy not only increases the revenue going forward, but it also positions you as more of a premium provider in your market. So positioning your offer for success is all about differentiation and having a lot of people, in previous masterclasses, we've talked about USPs, which is kind of having that unique, the thing that you do really uniquely and different to anyone else. But your goal is to make your offer just to make it incomparable with others in the market. And Hormozi emphasizes that a well-positioned offer is one that stands out because it addresses specific problems uniquely and also effectively. And this starts with clear, compelling messaging that helps you to kind of communicate the unique value of your offer. So you need to articulate why your offer is different and better than anything else. And you can use stories, testimonials. You can highlight the impact your offer has had on previous clients. That's a great way of doing it. And you can actually just show people, not just tell people, but actually show them you've got the results there, and they can see why your offer is just far superior. Additionally, think about enhancing your offer with scarcity. So Alex talked about scarcity quite a lot, creating that urgency. If you can throw in some sort of bonuses, and that will help you to significantly boost the appeal of your offer. Scarcity and urgency create that sense of immediacy. We're coming up now to the end of November, and Black Friday is going to be a massive thing. It's a limited time-bound deal. So, for example, you might offer a number of slots, or it could be a time-bound discount. So you could say, for the next week, you can get this discount, and that bonus and what you're doing just adds extra value. It makes your offer even more irresistible to people, and that could just be the bonuses might be additional services, extended support, exclusive access to resources. You can be quite creative. You don't have to kind of create brand new things that you need to do. You've probably got these things already, got these assets, and you're using them already on giving them out, but just not making it too obvious that you're doing it. So when you start to kind of stack up some bonuses with what you're trying to do, it just sets you apart from some others. Hormozi also suggests using guarantees. So guarantees, let me just go back a slide. So guarantees is all about the reducing that perceived risk for your customers. Having this strong guarantee is really going to tip the scales in your favor. It shows that you stand behind your offer, that this could be a money-back guarantee or a satisfaction guarantee, really to kind of ensure that your customers feel confident in their decision to part with money with you. So by differentiating your offer and communicating its value clearly, you're enhancing it with these strategic elements and positioning yourself for real success. Your offer becomes the obvious choice for your target audience, and you can start to drive much higher engagement and sales. So we mentioned the Grand Slam offer, so we've got a bit of an example to look at. And this case study really highlights how business has been transformed by its offer, by focusing on unique value, premium pricing, and also the strategic positioning that we've looked at. So initially, the business struggled with commoditization. Services were obviously seen as interchangeable, and they were priced accordingly. And that caused, a decision was made to redefine their offer by incorporating Hormozi's principles. So we'll see that they focused on solving a specific pain problem for their customers. They structured their offer to maximize the dream outcome and the perceived likelihood, whilst reducing that, minimizing that time delay, the effort, and the sacrifice. They also introduced premium pricing, and that reflected the high value of the offer. And this helped to set apart a real strong guarantee, which then reduced that perceived likeliness of risk for the customer. So let's have a look at it in a little bit of detail. So this is Gym Launch, Alex Hormozi's business, and he kind of grew this is a multi-billion-pound business now from what he achieved. It's quite incredible. So firstly, one-time payments. So he decided that he wasn't going to have recurring fees or retainers. So these kind of failing gyms would come to him and would just have to make that one-time payment, and that was it. The clients would cover all the ad spend. So the client only pays for the advertising costs. And that was quite key in this strategy. Thirdly, lead generation and management. So Hermosi's team would take the lead for generating the leads, and then work with those leads for the client on behalf of the client. And that was obviously one of the key pain points. Certainly if people didn't have the time, he was coming in and doing this for them. Performance-based payment. So the client only pays if people showed up. So that was quite a bit of a game changer. And then he offered the guarantee, which was 20 people guaranteed in the first month, or the next month would be free. So that really eliminated that risk of people doing business. And best practices included the provision of all the best practice from similar businesses. So he would include some of the best bits of all the other offers that were out there on the table still. So why this offer works? The Grand Slam offer, it's really effective for several reasons. That risk reduction, by only requiring payment if people show up, it significantly reduces the client's risk. The guaranteed results, where he was promising 20 people in the first month or a free month, this provided a real nice safety net for the clients. And then you've got value-based pricing. Instead of competing on this price, getting lower and lower and lower, the offer competes on value, making it much more difficult to compete with any other services that are out there. Having that simplified payment structure, the one-time payment model, just made it really easy to understand, and it eliminated any ongoing costs for prospects. They knew exactly where they stood and what was going on in the future. And the expertise included. So where he's offering all the best practice stuff that other successful businesses were doing in like competitors, that added much more value to the package. So ultimately, this helped him to do three things: to get more customers, increase the average purchase value, and then also increase how often people spend, so that the frequency was really good as well. So this is the potential impact. By having this strong offer in place, we're creating, we're getting more customers for the business. That the compelling offer, it's laser focused on their specific unique needs and their ideal clients. That is naturally going to attract a lot more people who see its value. And we talk about niching down and being an expert in a specific niche rather than a bit of a generalist with everyone else. That is a great strategy. So the clarity and appeal of a signature offer acts as a bit of a magnet, drawing in clients who are just not just interested but they're also ready to take action and get going. And secondly, it's increasing that average purchase value. So with a value-based pricing model, you're positioning your offer in a way that really demonstrates its worth, and that allows you to charge a premium. So when clients understand the unique benefits that your offer brings, they're often willing to pay a lot more, and that reflects the real value of the solution that you can provide. And then finally, increase the purchase frequency. So while not directly focused on increasing the frequency, often a successful signature offer will lead to repeat business and referrals. And when clients experience that high value, that positive impact of your offer makes, they're much more likely to return for future projects with you or recommend other people to you. So it creates that cycle of trust, credibility, that grows your business forward just beyond that first one-time sale maybe. So in summary, a really strong offer doesn't just kind of boost the business, but it's actually that ripple effect that will drive sustainable growth by attracting a lot more clients, increasing the revenue per sale, and encouraging those long-term and loyal kind of referrals which you need as a business. So we'll open the floor for some questions. Encourage you to kind of share your thoughts, share your ideas. Keen to kind of hear where you guys are at with the offers, any challenges or pain points that you're facing. Does anyone want to kick us off today?
Yeah, I'm happy to. So with Rabbit Brothers, I mean, a lot of our clients would they only come to us looking for new agents once there's a problem with their current agent. It's kind of a different kind of market than kind of a product that you provide. It's a service market. So I guess if they've received poor service, that's what will help them jump ship. It's more like changing when you change a bank or something,
Yeah.
it's something you don't really want to do. So trying to drag them away is quite difficult, and it's often led on price, really. And we get the smaller guys in the area who don't have the bigger overheads that being an armor
Yeah.
member and a RCIS and so on, but may not provide a better service, and the client's money might be in more jeopardy. But yeah, so it's difficult to try and get that message across. And
Yeah,
uh,
it's how do you go about showcasing the value if you're in that commodity trap?
yeah,
Yeah, and that's kind of like the key thing to crack. In terms of how often do you kind of revise the offer? Is it like every year? Do you have a look at that offer, or is it just what you've stuck with and what's been there for since you've started? Or
I mean, we have a sort of minimum fee that we provide, and we have a kind of template email that we sort of bring together, and we send it with some information showing how wonderful we are, but that's it really. We have £200 per unit is a sort of rough industry standard in our area. So we sort of think about that, but we also look about how difficult the clients may be. We actually
sure,
quote ourselves quite high if we think that perhaps it might be quite a lot of work to bring them back into a good, well managed property. So yeah,
tricky. Yeah,
it's tricky,
so-
isn't it?
yeah, it is
There's
tricky.
different factors, and you have to know your client and almost interview them for while they're interviewing you. So yeah, it'd be
Yeah,
quite a
it's
difficult
and it's
duty.
establishing that trust. Have you kind of worked out how long the client sticks with you for in terms of like a churn or that?
Yeah, we've had clients that have been with us since the 70s, I guess.
Wow.
So and we've had clients that have just come on. So there is a mix, but there is that uh, yeah, kind of, we do provide a good service, so we tend to be able to pride
Yeah.
ourselves with turning around blocks that are in difficult positions as well. So once they're
Yeah.
with us, we're fairly safe. But
And that's probably one of the strengths that you need to play into. If you've had a client,
yeah,
clients that have been around for that number of years, it's 50 plus years. It's definitely definitely speaks volumes. Um,
show how we're better than others, kind of get that across. Yeah.
yeah, I'd say tackle it from that approach. In terms of guarantees, have you thought about putting any guarantees in place? I know some business models make it really tricky to put those hard guarantees in, but
Yeah.
you can kind of soften them in. There are ways of doing that.
Okay. Yeah, I guess we could look at something like that. I mean, a lot of what we look at is clients' money, and we're almost like consider ourselves a mini bank because we hold a lot of people's service charge money, pay
Yeah,
for major works projects and this and that. So having that money protected under the RICS client protection scheme and insurance backed is something we try and get across to the customer, because there's a few agents in the country who have run off with
yeah.
this money, and it's not
So,
uncommon. So
in terms of kind of understanding those objections that you might be getting in sales meetings or when you're emailing back and forth or whatever, do you kind of note those down in terms of those objections that you might be getting when you get a little bit of pushback from someone else saying, "Oh, well, such and such is cheaper down the road," because
yeah, we do. I mean, we take it on board, and we have had calls where a new block down the road is far less service charge, and they tend to look at, when they pay the building insurance, when they pay the gardener, when they pay that service charge, they think it's all coming to us, and it's kind of that sort of thing. But yeah, so there's a discrepancy between keeping our fees down and keeping the service charge sort of at a reasonable level as well. But Yeah, I mean, we have had comments in the past of neighbours are cheaper or other competitors are cheaper. Um, but yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
we,
it's
we
like
don't
they're
really
not
know what to
not
do
quite
about it.
understanding the true value then, which
Yeah,
might be more
absolutely.
of a maybe the offer's good, but maybe it's just that sales technique and kind of overcoming
Yeah,
those objections in a bouncing it back.
yeah.
Um, yeah, but yeah, hang in there.
Yeah, and then the other side is my fire door, and that's quite an easier one to pick up the sales on. So I do the surveys for a block of flats or a commercial unit or any sort of building, and it tells us what's wrong with the door, and then from that we put a quotation together for the repairs or replacements,
Okay,
and then we've just been dishing out quotations left, right, and centre, and we're not very good at following up
okay,
and
yep,
going back and looking
yeah.
back and trying to say, why didn't we get this? This is still in the pipeline. Are you collecting money? What's the deal with this? So I think that's an exercise we probably need to do.
Yeah, and that's kind of just the time is of the essence in quotations. If you kind of let it go a few days, the momentum is gone, and it's very difficult
Yeah.
to then claw that back and kind of get that
Okay.
interest. So it's having those systems in place once a quotation goes out, setting up automations to, 2 days
Right.
time, send a trigger email to them to say, hey, it'd be great to have your feedback on the recent quotation. Any objections? When would you like to book in to move forward or whatever? And
Right. Okay.
yeah, so it's
So that's
just keeping
interesting.
that
So like a week
momentum.
later, kind of follow up and
Yeah, the key
um,
is the follow up. That's the if you're really
okay.
proactive on the follow up, then that can really help with
Okay.
winning some of those quotations.
Sure. And
I,
even
I've experienced
understanding.
that. I've had sales meetings with people. And I said, well, I'll get back to you next week. I'll put together a smaller plan that's more affordable for you. And
Yeah.
inevitably, I think, do I really want to be going ahead with this? And it gets forgotten about. And for whatever reason, I'm focused on bigger clients and bigger
Yeah.
deals.
Mm.
But if you still put the time in and nurture those original proposals, and it can help. They all do start to
Can really
stack up
help.
and mount up.
And do you think we should send something on the back of our quote or with our quote to say why they
Yeah,
should
so I
use
would
us? Or
for sure. I mean, for quotes, if you're not receiving any replies back, then putting them
yeah.
into a sequence where you're just going to start marketing to them,
Okay.
and I think that's perfectly normal. If you every week, if you're chasing it, they've expressed an interest. You just want to know, is it a yes or no? Ultimately, is it going ahead or isn't it? Sometimes there can be delays, if they've got to wait for finance or whatever, but ultimately there's a reason behind it. And you just need to get to the bottom of that decision really. And if there's automated nudges that you can put in the system, and it's kind of clever marketing because you could put, you could think, what's the reason for not doing it now? Could there be maybe an insurance thing whereby they're nullifying their insurance if they're not going ahead with this? So you can almost scaremonger them and put some tactics in to really kind of put a little bit of pressure on them, really, to help them make a decision. Or you
Yeah,
can,
that's true, isn't
or
it?
you can even, you can throw in, say, we've done some quote comparisons in the market and we came out, 10% cheaper than all our nearest competitors within a 50-mile radius.
Right.
Um,
Okay.
and
Okay.
that would be a powerful thing to have in a follow-up setting, because then
Yeah.
you're like, there's no point even going around shopping around because we've done it for you. We've done the work for you, and
Yeah.
and this is the value. And it's just cementing all those value things in the offer, reasons to
Okay.
be using you and giving them the confidence to just go ahead. So it's just kind of communicating that value, I think. But yeah, it sounds like you're in an exciting place where you can put little things in, and it's actually going to make a quite a big impact to the overall business,
Yeah,
which is quite
definitely.
nice.
We're in the early stages, we're only 2 years old, so we're kind of getting the grips with it all. And yeah.
Brilliant, excellent. Well, thanks for coming along. I'm just going to, David, any further comments from yourself today?
Just the question that it's a word that's, if you like, bandied around lots and lots, and I heard it this morning, is value. Does Hermosa say anything about how we work out the value for customers of our particular offers? It's such a widely spoken.
I mean, it is, and that value equation can there's so many different factors that would drive that in terms of one person's lifestyle and how they want to spend their money and what they want to do can be very different to someone else. So it's all about that perceived likeliness of what he was saying in the equation.
Okay, so
what does your hourly rate? Your hourly rate might be something much higher than my hourly rate. So it's finding something that brings all that to a kind of level playing field almost. But yeah, you've cut it's a sliding scale. I think if you're dealing with multi-million-pound businesses, then their interpretation of value and their hourly rates are going to be much higher. But people want that value, don't they? They want to know they're getting the best bang for the buck.
Okay, coming back to it may not interest Joe very much, but something that interests both of us is people look at Christmas as a gift option and giving this. What is the value proposition that we can come and put across to people as part of a Christian witnessing?
So say again, David.
What can we do from Christian witnessing point of view that we can emphasize more on Christmas, apart from three wise men, which may have been more than three wise men, and the carols that say three kings are, and they weren't kings anyway.
Yeah, so that's
how
probably
can we highlight and introduce that into business?
That's quite a deeply theological conversation. Probably we need to save that for the forum or for another day, I'm guessing. But reinvent Christmas, how can we?
Generally not, because reason was I was at Christian coaching yesterday, and the question was, how can we contract Christ into contracts? But I'll bring that up in the forum.
Yeah. No, I think for me it's all about just doing everything with integrity and. Yes. Your values. It's just every interaction you have, it will naturally shine out.
That's one of the things that we do in Toastmasters: integrity and respect.
Yeah,
is our, if you like, motto.
Yeah, there's some fantastic organisations that have these values, which is fantastic, which is great.
Well, thank you for today, anyway. I'm going to have to dash.
Yeah, thanks, David. I'm just going to kind of rattle up this for the
nice to meet you, Joe.
For the recording.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
So just a quick wrap up. Then let's recap the key takeaways that we discussed. The importance of that signature offer and how to define it. Effective pricing strategies we looked at as well. Remember that signature offer is what sets you apart in the market, not just kind of what you offer, but how you can package it to solve your customers' most pressing problems. And then we looked at the value equation, how we can create an offer that really maximizes value and helps you to your market to understand why your offer is just incomparable to anything else, and enhance your offer with those key elements which we spoke about: scarcity, urgency, and bonuses. So with the fire doors and the quotes going out, if you can pop in a week later, by the way, we've just got this offer on. It's a 7-day offer. If you proceed and go ahead, we can do this or throw this extra bonus in. That is going to probably.
Thought about that. Like, if you go ahead before this date, we can offer 10% discount.
Yeah, give it a whirl. Give it a whirl. Worth a try. Just to see if that encourages more conversions. So start to implement some of these strategies, and hopefully this training has been of some help to you. Next steps. Engage and connect. Obviously, we've got the school community. If you've liked what we've been talking about today, and you'd love a discovery consultation where we can talk about the growth of your business and how Leadeth might be able to support you, do encourage you to hop on to our website, leadeth.io/discovery. That will take you to my personal one-to-one calendar where we can chat a little bit further about how I support businesses and help them to scale using software, tools, technology. So thanks again for joining. Thank you. Yeah, I think
Thanks,
just
Alex.
yourself left in the room, Joe, now. So
Yeah.
hope you have a fantastic day. And yeah, I think next week we're actually moving on to the Ultimate Networking Guide. So we're actually going to look at LinkedIn in a bit more detail, building out a really
Okay.
worthwhile connections network via LinkedIn.
Okay. Brilliant. All right. Thank
Okay.
you.
Good to meet you, Joe. Take care.
Lovely to meet you. Take
Bye.
care.